Hey, if you've been looking for a legitimate way to make extra income online, every time you start researching it, you end up more confused than when you started. Give me just a few seconds here. Okay, a few minutes, because I'm going to walk you through exactly how this works. And this is what most people completely miss, my friends. There are actually 3 completely different ways to make money with digital products. You know what? And most people only know about one of them. One of these paths allows you to create something yourself. Another one allows you to make money from products somebody else has already created. And the third allows you to start with an entire digital product, educational programs that's already been built. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand all 3 of them. But I'm almost going to show you how you actually get people to see what you're selling, how you capture those people so you don't lose them, and how you put a simple system behind the whole thing so it can continue working, even when you're not sitting in front of your computer. My name is Mark Dreyer, and welcome to Don't Retire Rewire, where Gen Xers and Boomers learn how to reinvent themselves with new skills and a new future. And believe me, I understand what it feels like to be starting this late in life. I did not grow up with this stuff, and I ain't a flipping programmer. I'm not a computer guy. I spent most of my life working and building businesses the old-fashioned way. Then, at 60 years old, after 14 years with the same company, I lost my job through an email. Lost my car, lost that $36,000 in credit card debt. It was crazy. And 5 weeks before I was 60, I basically had to start over. So if you're sitting there thinking, Mark, I'm too old for this. I'm not techie. I don't have a big social media following. I don't have anything to sell, and I wouldn't even know where to begin. You're exactly who I make these videos for. And before we dive in, I have a free training linked in the description below that walks you through the exact kind of system I'm talking about today. Don't leave yet. Let me explain this first so you actually understand what you're looking at here. And if it makes sense to you, you can check it out. Free training, it's not going anywhere. All right, let's start with product, because here's something we can probably agree on. If you have nothing to sell, nobody can buy anything from you. Pretty simple, right? So the first question you've got to answer is, what am I gonna sell? And I already know what some of you are thinking. Mark, I don't have anything to sell. I'm not an expert. I don't have a course. I wouldn't even know what to create. And I hear this all the time. And here's something I wish somebody would have explained to me sooner. Man, it would have saved me time. You do not necessarily, hear me, have to create a single thing yourself to start online businesses. There are 3 different paths that you can take, and I want you to pay attention as I explain these, because one of them is probably going to make a lot more sense to you than the other ones. Path number 1 is creating your own digital product. You certainly can, and even if you don't think that's the direction you're going to go, understanding it gives you a foundation for everything else. The first thing you need to understand is you do not have to be the world's leading authority on anything. You just need to know something that somebody else wants to know. Think about what you've learned during your life. Think about problems you've already solved. Think about your career, your hobbies, your experiences, things somebody right now might literally be searching for online. Maybe you know how to meal prep on a budget. Maybe you know how to stretch a grocery budget. Maybe you know how to train a dog. Maybe you've spent 30 years in sales. Maybe you know how to use Canva. I didn't. Maybe you know how to organize a household. Maybe you know how to restore furniture. Maybe you know how to grow tomatoes better than anybody in your neighborhood. I don't know. You don't need a degree for that. Am I right? You get the point? You need a result you've already gotten and a willingness to show somebody else how you did it. And there are all kinds of ways to package that knowledge into a digital product. It could be a PDF guide. Hell, it could be a checklist, a course with videos, a workshop. It could be templates. It could be a membership, a coaching program. And when somebody buys it, they receive it digitally. There's nothing to ship. There's no warehouse. There's no inventory setting in your garage. But something very important has changed over the last few years. All you need to understand this is, if you're thinking about creating your own digital product, people used to pay primarily for information. Today, information is everywhere. You can Google almost anything. Am I right? You can also certainly chat GPT a question and have an answer in seconds. So why would somebody pay you? Because they're not necessarily paying you just for information. They're paying for organization. They're paying for clarity. They're paying for experience. experience. They're paying for somebody who can say, I've been exactly where you are, and here's what actually worked for me. They're paying for a community, let's say. They're paying for coaching. They're paying for help getting from where they are to where they want to go. We're drowning, my friends, in information. What most people need isn't another 400-page of information. They need somebody to help them move forward. I use AI constantly. I think it's one of the greatest tools we've ever been given. But here's what AI cannot give you. You, your story, your mistakes, your experience, your personality, I've been exactly where you are energy. That's yours, my friend. And that's why the people who are going to do well with digital products aren't necessarily going to be the people who know the most. They're going to be the people who use technology as a tool, but still create a real human connection. Now, what if you're thinking, Mark, well, that sounds great, but I don't want to create anything right now. Perfect, because the next two paths don't require you to create your own product. Path number 2 is affiliate marketing. Affiliate marketing simply means you recommend somebody else's product, and when somebody purchases through your unique link, you earn a commission. There's no product for you to build. In many cases, you don't have to deal with product delivery or customer service. You're simply connecting somebody with a product or service you believe can help them. You've probably been doing this your entire life without getting paid for it. How many times have you recommended, let's say, a restaurant? You've told somebody you've got to go try this place. They go there. They spend $100. They love it. And what did you get? Right, nothing. Affiliate marketing is basically a tracked online recommendation where the company says, if somebody purchases because you sent them here, we'll pay you. There are physical affiliate products and digital affiliate products. Amazon is probably the easy example of physical product, but commissions on physical products are generally smaller because physical products have expenses, manufacturing, warehouse, shipping, returns, employees, all of it. Digital products are different. Online courses, membership, software, templates, educational programs don't have those same physical costs, so you'll often see much higher commission percentages. And this is why digital affiliate marketing can be so interesting, my friends. You can find something you actually use, something you genuinely believe in. You show people how you're using it, and if they ask where they can get it, you have an affiliate link. That's it. That's an affiliate marketing when it's done correctly. It's not running around spamming strangers. It's not bothering your friends and family. It's recommending something that solves a problem for the audience you're already talking to. Now, I think affiliate marketing can be a fantastic income stream, but personally, I like it even more when it's layered on top of a larger business rather than being the only thing you have, which brings us to path number 3. And this is one that surprises a lot of people. There are digital products and educational products that come with legal resale rights. Depending on the product and the license, you might hear terms such as resale rights or master resale rights. The basic concept is this: you purchase a real digital product or educational program, and depending on that particular license, you're also granted the legal right to resell that product under specific terms. Now, I can already hear somebody asking, Mark, is this, I don't know, that MLM? No, they're completely different business models. You're not necessarily recruiting people into a downline. You're not getting paid because somebody recruited somebody who recruited somebody else. You're selling a product under the licensing agreement attached to that product. And here's why this type of model caught my attention. When I started learning this business, I needed 2 things. Number 1, I needed to actually learn digital marketing because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And number 2, I wanted something I could potentially market while I was learning instead of spending months trying to create something from scratch. And that's where a good educational program with resale rights can make sense for the right person. Because the real value isn't just having something to sell. The real value is what you learn. Digital marketing, email marketing, automation, affiliate marketing, funnels, landing pages, content creation, building an audience, creating your own digital products, learning how offers work, learning how to turn attention into customers. Those are skills. And once you learn those skills, you can use them over and over again. You can apply them to your own product, an affiliate product, a coaching business, a membership, a completely different business 2 years from now. That's the multiplier. Rewire. You learn marketing once and you can apply it to almost anything you do afterward. And this is where I want to make important distinction here. You're not just buying something so you can turn around and sell something. You're learning a skill set. And if that program also gives you the legal ability to resell it according to its licensing terms, that's another potential income path, my friend. But the knowledge is the asset that stays with you. If you want to see the type of system I'm talking about, that's what the free training in my description is for. Go through it, see how it works, and decide for yourself whether it makes sense for you. Now, we've figured out what we can sell, but that creates another problem because you can have the greatest product on the planet, and if nobody sees you, you got zero, you're going to do nothing. So now we're going to talk about visibility. This is where a lot of people trying to make money online get completely stuck. They're worried about the logo. They're worried about the website. They're worried about the color of their funnel. They're spending 3 weeks deciding what their Instagram bio should say. Meanwhile, nobody knows they exist. Creating the product might be 20% of the equation. The other 80% is marketing and visibility. You've got to get the product in front of the right people because somewhere right now, somebody is searching for the exact problem your product solves. The question, do they find you? Or does somebody else show up instead? That's a visibility problem. And fortunately, that's fixable. There are basically two ways to get visible online. You build attention organically through content, or you buy attention through advertising. Facebook ads, Google ads, YouTube ads, whatever it might be. Both can work. But if I were starting from zero today, especially as a Gen Xer or a boomer trying to build something without risking a bunch of money, I would learn organic marketing first. And why? Because if you haven't figured out your message yet, what exactly are you paying to advertise? If you don't know who you're talking to, if you don't know what problems get their attention, if you don't know what hooks make them stop, if you don't know what offers they're interested in, you're basically paying money to amplify confusion. Organically, content you want that works. Then later, if you want to run advertising, you're pouring gasoline on a fire that's already burning, right? And this brings me to the social media that I was talking about. I spend a lot of time in the short form world, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, that kind of stuff. I've built large audiences. I sure have. I've had videos get tens of thousands of views. I've generated thousands of leads. I've made money from those platforms. So I'm never going to sit here and tell you they don't work. They absolutely work. But let me tell you what else I've learned. Short form social media can become a treadmill. You post today, then tomorrow you've got to post again, right? Then you've got to post again. And then you got to post again and again and again. And if you want to grow aggressively, you can find yourself making 2 or 3 pieces of content every single day. Pretty soon, you're married to your phone. And here's the other problem. You don't control the platform. Algorithms change, right? Reach, I don't know. It all of a sudden disappears. Accounts get restricted. Accounts get shut down. I've experienced that firsthand. And when you're spent months or years building an audience and suddenly the platform decides you don't have access to it anymore, it changes how you think about building a business. That's one of the reasons I've become so interested in what you're listening to this on YouTube, because YouTube operates differently. A TikTok or Instagram video might get the majority of its attention over a couple of days. YouTube videos can continue getting discovered for months and, hey, potentially years. Think about that. I can make a video today called something like, how do I make extra retirement income after 60? Somebody could search for that 6 months from now, a year from now, maybe even longer. And the video can introduce me to somebody I've never met while I'm sleeping. Now that, my friend, is an asset. And YouTube does something else that I love. It gives you short form and long form on the same platform. You have YouTube Shorts. Somebody might discover you from a 30 or 60-second video. Then they get curious. They click on your channel. And now they watch a 15-minute video. Or maybe they watch one of my 30-minute lives. And that's where something different happens. They actually get to know you. There's a big difference between somebody watching you for 30 seconds and somebody sitting there watching you 15, 20, 30 minutes. That's where trust starts getting built. And trust is what eventually turns viewers into customers. There's also a huge difference between being a YouTuber and using YouTube to build a business. I'm not telling you that you need to become an internet celebrity. Oh, no. I'm not sitting here saying you need millions of subscribers. YouTube can simply be your visibility engine. You're building a library of videos around the questions your ideal audience is already asking. And that's what I'm doing with Don't Retire, Rewire. If somebody is sitting at home tonight typing, how can I make extra money after 60? What happens if I don't have enough money to retire? How do I start an online business after 50? How can a boomer, let me say, learn digital marketing? Those are the people I want YouTube introducing me to. And here's another benefit, my friend. As your channel grows and qualifies for YouTube monetization, YouTube itself can potentially become another income stream. That's not my primary reason for being here, but my primary goal is building a business and building an audience I can serve. But if the platform eventually pays you while you're also using it to attract customers to your business, hey, that's just another income stream. And there's something else I've noticed about people who come through long form content. They've already spent time with you, maybe 10 minutes, heck, maybe 20 minutes. Maybe they watched three different videos. They understand your philosophy, heard your story. They've watched you teach. So by the time they decide they want to learn more about what you're doing, they're not completely cold strangers anymore. That's incredibly valuable. And that's why if I were building an online business today with the goal of creating something that lasts, I would absolutely want YouTube to be part of that foundation. But now we've got another problem. Somebody finds your video, they love it, they watch it for 15 minutes, and then they leave, and you never see them again. Well, how do we fix that? Your email list. Because here's something I learned the hard way. You don't own YouTube. We know that. You don't own TikTok. You don't own Instagram. You don't own Facebook. You're renting space on all of them. And believe me, when I tell you, I learned that lesson the hard way. You can spend years building an audience and one day wake up and find out that the platform has made a decision you have absolutely no control over. But when somebody voluntarily joins your email list, you now have a direct way to communicate with that person. No algorithm has to decide whether they see you. So, how do we move somebody from YouTube onto our email list? We give them a reason, right? That's your freebie. A freebie is simply something genuinely useful that you give somebody in exchange for their name and email address. It could be a checklist, a short guide. It could be a blueprint, a cheat sheet, a short video training, something that makes the person watching think, you know what? I need that. They click the link in your description, they enter their information, and they received a free resource. And now they're on your email list. That's the bridge between somebody finding you and somebody becoming part of your audience. And ideally, you want to mention that free resource naturally, more than once through a longer video. Man, I'm hot right now. I'm going back in. Not every 30 seconds. So hear me. You don't want to beat people over the head with it, but you also can mention something one time in a 30-minute video and assume everybody has heard you. People come into videos at different points. People are, I don't know, they get distracted, right? Like I am. So naturally remind them that the resource is available below. There are three things that make good freebies. Number one, it should be quick to consume. Don't give somebody a 97-page flippant encyclopedia. Most people aren't going to finish it. Give them something they can consume quickly and actually use. Number two, it should be actionable. Give them something they can do. Remember, information is everywhere. Give them 3 steps, give them a quick win, and number 3, your freebie should naturally connect to whatever you eventually offer. If you're selling a course about training your dog not to bark, maybe your freebie is 5 mistakes that are making your dog bark more and how to fix them today, right? They download it and they get a quick result. And if it helps them naturally, they're going to wonder, what else does that person know? That's the bridge. Your content, your freebie, and your paid offer should feel like pieces of the same puzzle, right? So if any of this has been interesting to you, I told you, my name is Mark. My channel is Don't Retire, Rewire. Go check out what I am using in the description. And I'm telling you, we have thousands of people that has changed their life in our community. Check it out. I hope to see you again, and thank you for listening.